Welcome back to the channel. Next car lunch. What if I told you the 2027 Porsche 911 GTS is not just another expensive sports car, but one of the rare performance machines that can actually make sense when you look at long-term value. With 532 horsepower, hybrid assistance, nearly 200 miles per hour of top speed, and a price that can climb quickly with options, the real question is not whether this Porsche is fast. The real question is whether it is worth the money when you count fuel, maintenance, insurance, resale, and everyday ownership. Let's find out. The 2027 Porsche 911 Carrera GTS is one of the most interesting 911s because it sits right in the middle of Porsche's performance lineup. It gives you serious supercar-level speed without becoming a car that you can only enjoy on a racetrack. For the United States, the 2027 Carrera GTS starts at about $181,000 before taxes, registration, dealer charges, and options. Porsche lists the 2027 Carrera GTS at $181,000, while the all-wheel drive Carrera 4 GTS starts around $189,300. For Japan, Porsche Japan currently lists the Carrera GTS at around 23.96 million yen. So for American buyers considering an overseas purchase or export, Japan is definitely a market worth watching, although taxes, import rules, shipping, registration, and specification differences can completely change the final cost. Now let's talk about the biggest surprise, the hybrid system. This is not a plug-in hybrid that you charge overnight, and you are not going to drive this Porsche like an electric car. Instead, the GTS uses Porsche's T-Hybrid technology to support the gasoline engine and improve performance and response. The result is a 3.6-liter twin-turbo flat-six working with an electric motor, producing a combined 532 horsepower. Porsche says the Carrera GTS can reach 60 miles per hour in about 2.9 seconds with Sport Chrono, while top speed reaches 194 miles per hour. And this is where the GTS becomes special. When you are driving around the city, the electric assistance helps make the power delivery feel smooth and immediate. You do not need to push the engine hard every time you leave a traffic light. The car feels responsive, controlled, and surprisingly easy to drive. But remember, this is still a 911 GTS. Fuel economy is not its main mission. Comparable 911 GTS figures show around 17 miles per gallon city and 23 miles per gallon highway, with about 19 miles per gallon combined. Real-world mileage can change dramatically depending on traffic, driving style, weather, tires, and how often you enjoy that 532 horsepower performance. So yes, the hybrid system can help efficiency, but do not buy this Porsche expecting Prius-level fuel savings. The real benefit is that Porsche has added electrification without taking away the character people expect from a 911. On American highways, this car becomes even more impressive. The steering feels precise, the body stays stable at speed, and the suspension gives you confidence when changing lanes or taking fast curves. On long highway trips, the 911 GTS can feel much more civilized than its performance numbers suggest. And then there are narrow American city streets and crowded parking areas. The 911 is relatively compact compared with large American performance cars and SUVs, which makes it easier to place on tight streets and easier to maneuver in busy areas. The optional front axle lift system can also be useful when dealing with steep driveways, ramps, and parking entrances. But let's be honest about practicality. This is not a pickup, and it is not a commercial vehicle. You cannot treat it like a Ford F-150 or a work truck. There is no large cargo bed and no serious load-carrying ability. But for a small business owner who wants a personal performance car rather than a logistics vehicle, the 911 gives you limited but useful storage. You have front cargo space and small rear seats that can be more useful for bags, equipment, or daily items than you might expect. Now compare it with an American competitor like the Chevrolet Corvette. The Corvette gives you tremendous performance for substantially less money, and from a pure horsepower per dollar perspective, It can look like the smarter deal. But the Porsche argument is different. The 911 has decades of brand recognition, a strong enthusiast following, exceptional everyday usability, and historically strong demand in the used market. So if resale value matters, the Porsche can justify some of its higher purchase price. That brings us to ownership costs. A Porsche 911 is not a cheap car to maintain. Premium tires, brakes, fluids, scheduled service, and specialized Porsche labor can become expensive. A reasonable planning budget should be several $1,000s per year depending on mileage and service needs, with larger maintenance events potentially costing much more. Current 911 ownership estimates also show that maintenance, fuel, insurance, and depreciation can add up quickly over 5 years. Insurance is another major expense. A high-performance Porsche with a purchase price around $181,000 will generally cost more to insure than a normal sedan or SUV. Your age, driving history, location, mileage, coverage level, and deductible can make a huge difference, so buyers should get an insurance quote before signing the purchase agreement. The good news is parts and service support in America are much easier than they would be for an obscure imported performance car. Porsche has an established dealer network, specialized independent shops, and a large enthusiast community. That means routine parts and technical knowledge are relatively accessible, although genuine Porsche components can still be expensive. Long-term value is where the 911 becomes interesting. A Porsche can lose a lot of money in depreciation, especially when heavily optioned. But desirable 911 configurations can hold value better than many luxury performance vehicles. The key is specification. Avoid unnecessary options that add a lot to the purchase price but little to resale demand, keep the service history complete, protect the paint and interior, and avoid excessive mileage if resale value is important. So who should buy the 2027 Porsche 911 GTS? If you need a work vehicle, this is obviously not the answer. If you want maximum cargo space or the lowest possible fuel cost, there are much smarter choices. But if you want one car that can give you breathtaking performance, comfortable highway driving, usable city manners, modern hybrid assistance, strong brand recognition, and potentially better resale performance than many luxury rivals, the GTS becomes much easier to understand. The 2027 Porsche 911 GTS is expensive, but it is not simply expensive for the sake of being expensive. It combines performance, technology, everyday usability, and a name that has incredible recognition around the world. And that is the hidden value. You are not only buying horsepower. You are buying a car that can be exciting on a weekend, comfortable enough for a highway trip, manageable in the city, and desirable years after you buy it. So, would you spend around $181,000 on the 2027 Porsche 911 GTS? Or would you save the money and choose an American performance car like the Corvette? Let us know your choice in the comments. If you enjoyed this review, hit the like button, subscribe to Next Car Lunch, and turn on notifications so you never miss our upcoming car reviews, new model updates, pricing breakdowns, and performance comparisons. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.